Hello everybody, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Andy. I hope you're doing really well wherever or whenever in the world that you are. If you are new here, hi, I am so glad you have found me, have found this little community. We're so glad to have you. I talk about all things bookish and a little bit around reading, journaling, bullet journaling. So if that interests you, if you like to read, if you like to journal, I hope you'll consider pressing the subscribe button or liking this video and sticking around. I'm really excited. We're gonna be starting a bit of a series about series. Today is gonna be episode 1, where we're gonna talk about the series from the romance, and fantasy genres that I am DNFing. I have decided this year that I will read no more. The reason I'm starting this series is, to be completely honest, the list that I have going on around my series feels disorganized and completely overwhelming. And so I'm hoping that this series helps me organize my brain a little bit around the series that I can put away, I can be done with, the series that I really want to prioritize and read, and then fine tune the list of series on my TBR, because right now, like I said, I'm overwhelmed. There's just too much. There's too much. Some of these are series that are new to me, I'm in the middle of, but they've been fully published or have been out in the world for quite some time. Some of these are like OG series. Some of these are brand spanking new. There's a bit of a variety across publishing dates and genres. All right, I think that's all the introduction I want to do. Again, this is going to be episode 1 series I've decided to DNF. I'd love to know in the comments below what series are on your either like chopping block to be DNF'd, or have you also decided to call quits? There's just so many series out there. I'm so curious if any of the ones that I'm about to list are also ones that you've read or DNF'd or loved. I'd love to know. Today we're gonna talk about 7 series that I'm gonna DNF. Not I'm going to, I already have. I've already decided. I'm just saying them out loud so I don't feel tempted to come back to them for no reason. I'm gonna go kind of in chronological order from the series I started the longest ago to the series that I started and stopped in 2024. First up is the Founders Trilogy by Robert Jackson Bennett. I started this series back in 2021 and I buddy read, I think, the first 2 books with one of my good friends from work, Amber. We loved the first one and we both really struggled with the second book. And I had it on my like to be continued list for years. I just have no motivation to come back to this world. It has been so long since I picked up Shorefall, which is the second book in the series. I think I would have to do a full reread in order to read the 3rd book of this trilogy, and that just does not appeal to me at all. The world building is really interesting. The writing style and character development is really unique. It just didn't grip me like I needed it to, so much so that I have put it on the back burner for literal years, and I made the executive decision that I'm gonna put this series away. I'm never gonna pick up the 3rd book. I truly am not. So there you go. The first series that has been nixed, the Founders Trilogy. All right, another series that I've decided I don't wanna continue in, I'm not that interested in, is Fortuna Sworn by KJ Sutton. I picked up Fortuna Sworn, the first book, also back in 2021, and I liked it. I think I gave it 3 stars. Again, this series has been on my to be continued list for years. I've never felt compelled to pick up the next book. It's been so long since I read Fortuna Sworn. I'd have to do a reread. I don't want to. I just don't see myself coming back to this series. I didn't love the first one. I liked it enough, but you know, it doesn't make the cut. So the next series that's DNF'd officially as of 2024, Fortuna Sworn. I feel like this one might be a little bit controversial, but back in 2022, I read the first book in the Nevermore series by Jessica Townsend. This is a middle grade fantasy series. The first book, The Trials of Morgan Crow, I liked. I found the world building really fun and interesting. The characters were super compelling. I liked, from what I remember about the magic, although at this moment in time, I remember very little. I think I read this at a time that I was really liking middle grade. I am not reading much middle grade these days. So again, I just don't see myself being drawn to pick up the second book. I also feel like one of them is also about a pandemic and it came out around the you-know-what, and I don't know that I want to read that content, no matter how fun and creative and magical and whimsical it might be. So Nevermore, I just don't see myself picking it back up. So on this date, I've decided to DNF. Let me know if you've read it though. I feel like it's really popular. It's completely beloved. So I certainly think that I'm in the minority, but yeah, I just don't think it's for me. The next series that I'm DNFing is actually a romance series. It's the Chestnut Springs series by Elsie Silver. I read the first 3 books. I read Flawless, Heartless, and Powerless. I think from what I remember, I liked each installment a little bit less. Like I think I gave the first book 4 stars, then I gave the next one like 3 stars, and then I gave the next one like 2.5 stars. And so I feel like I got what I needed out of that series. I don't care to pick up anymore. Again, I think this is a very popular romance series. Let me know if you've read the last few, but yeah, I just don't feel like it, you know? There's just so many other series out in the world that I'd like to pick up. I feel very comfortable putting this one to the side. So those are all the series that I'm gonna DNF that I had started prior to 2024. The rest of these are ones that I have started this year, and already I don't want to continue. The first series that I'm gonna DNF, and I think I've mentioned this in a couple videos, is the Kingdom of Lies series by Stasia Stark. The first book is A Court This Cruel and Lonely, Lovely, whatever. The second book is This Kingdom So Cursed and Empty. I was like rereading my Goodreads review, and I think I gave this first one, I can confirm, I gave it 3 stars. There wasn't anything extraordinary. There was nothing new and fresh. This feels like a lot of fantasy romance series that I've picked up before. And I read the next one and I didn't love it. In fact, I think I quite disliked it, if I'm correct. Yeah, I gave the second book 2.5 stars. So no need to continue. I've already forgotten the entire plot and premise. I don't remember any of the characters. It has not stuck with me at all. And I just read it a couple of months ago. Like, that's not a good sign for me. So I think this series, Kingdom of Lies, will be no more. The next series that I'm not gonna continue on, I'm not gonna finish, is the Shepherd King duology by Rachel Gillig. The first book is One Dark Window. I thought this book was okay. Again, I've talked a lot about it on this channel when I was reading it back in, I don't know, May or June. I think there's some really unique things about this story. The magic is really interesting. I thought the writing was very distinct, and I think it's really going for like this whimsical, immersive, atmospheric vibe, but it felt very, I'm just talking in riddles, which really felt distracting and often pulled me out of the story. It was just very quirky. I think a lot of people loved it, and you know, if you love this one, keep going, read that second book. I hope it's the best. The first book didn't work for me, so I have no interest in continuing on. And the last series that I am DNFing is The Wrath and the Dawn by Renee Ahdieh. I have tried to pick up the series not once, but twice with no luck. The writing, I think it's just like too fancy. It's too sophisticated for me. I just feel like the 2 times that I've picked it up, I've constantly felt confused the entire time, and then I'm confused about why I'm confused, and that's a terrible feeling. My second go around at reading The Wrath and the Dawn, I read 60%, and you know what? It's so disappointing because this is a book that I really thought I was gonna love. I was convinced was gonna be an all-time new fave, and it was just such a miss for me. The romance didn't work for me. The writing didn't work for me. I was just so confused, and I was really, really disappointed. So that's my last DNF series so far anyways of 2024, The Wrath and the Dawn. So there we go, quick and easy. I've wrapped my head around which series I'm not going to continue on. I'm not going to waste any more of my time with. And I feel a sense of accomplishment. I feel a sense of relief, ready to move on to bigger and better series. Let me know what series you're struggling to get through or what series you've DNF'd recently. I love talking about DNFs, so I'm so curious. Have you read any of the series that I mentioned? What were your thoughts? I'd love to know. Coming up in future episodes of this series about series, we're gonna talk about the series that I'm in the middle of, both the ones that are fully published and the ones that are still actively being published. And I'm gonna do a bit of a try a chapter like taste testing vlog series for the series that are on my TBR. That list is enormous and I need to trim some of the edges a little bit, or at least tailor to what my current bookish preferences are. Some of these series I put on my TBR list 5 years ago, and some of them I'm still desperate to get to and really interested in. And I'm sure there's a few that I couldn't care less about. So yeah, there we go. An introduction to our series about series. It's gonna be a fun time. If you like series or you had a good time, consider liking, smash that like button, or subscribe if you wanna stick around and see what other series I'm in the middle of, that I'm considering picking up. Let me know if you have any series recommendations. I'd love to know. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. Pretty quick video, more to come in the future. And yeah, that's it for me. I'll see you in the next video soon. Bye.